statement. Today's ruling was yet another gut punch for so many of us who devastatingly lost our loved ones on that tragic Valentine's Day at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School. 17 beautiful lives were cut short by murder. Heinous, pre-planned, torturous murder. And the monster that killed them gets to live another day. While this sentence fails to punish the perpetrator to the fullest extent of the law, it will not stop the mission of the families of Stand with Parkland to effect positive change at the federal, state, and local level to prevent school shooting tragedies from shattering other American families.
Tony, what did you think when you were hearing those verdicts being read? As it sunk in that this was a life sentence, not a death sentence recommendation, what were you and your wife Jennifer and everybody else thinking?
Well, I can only speak for myself and my wife since we've talked about it, but I'm sure some of the other families had similar thoughts. How can the mitigating factors make this shooter, who they recognized committed this terrible act, acts plural, shooting some victims more than once on a pass, pressing the barrel of his weapon to my daughter's chest, that doesn't outweigh that poor little, what's his name, had a tough upbringing? I mean, society has to really look and re-examine who and what is a victim. Not everyone's a victim. My beautiful Gina, the other sons, daughters, spouses, and fathers, they were the victims here. Our justice system should have been used to punish this shooter to the fullest extent of the law, not as an act of revenge, but to protect our nation's schools, to stop others from attacking the future of this country when they attack our schools.
Do you not see how it's possible that one juror could have found one mitigating factor?
If one juror was honest when they chose the jury, and they said they could see their way to the death penalty, and unanimously they all found that the aggravators were proven beyond a reasonable doubt, I think that one juror possibly perjured him or herself.
What message do you have to this jury, and does this send the wrong message to the nation? The nation is watching.
Well, again, what do we want as a society? Do we want people who commit atrocious acts against the future of our country to be punished to the fullest extent of the law? Or do we want to excuse them because they had a tough time growing up? I promise you, throughout this nation, there were people who had a more difficult time growing up than this shooter, who have been failed by the school system more than this shooter, and who have had less services provided than this shooter. And they did not choose to enter a school with a high-powered weapon and pull the trigger 139 individual times. That is cruel. That is thoughtful. And that should have been punished to the maximum extent of the law.